You are listening to the Your Empty Nest Coach podcast with Coach Christine, episode number 20. You found future you. Now for the how. This podcast is for you, a mother who years ago walked away from a career to raise your child. Sure, you've been busy volunteering, carpools, maybe part-time work, and taking care of everyone. But your main gig? That has been your child. Now that they are in their later years of high school, the empty nest looms ahead for you and it is freaking you out. I've been there and I get it. Together, we'll turn our freaking out energy into freaking awesome energy. Hello, my empty nest friend. Thanks for listening today. I am so thankful you are here. As promised, I'd like to share one of my new Apple Podcast reviews with you. This one means a lot to me because I know it comes from Carolyn of the podcast Beyond 6 Seconds, which I subscribe to and enjoy thoroughly. She writes, Christine gives relatable and actionable advice in her podcast episodes. This podcast is a must listen if you are facing or are about to face an empty nest. Even if you're not an empty nester, you can still benefit from hearing her coaching and guidance if you're facing any major change in your life. The episodes are extremely well organized and well produced. I really enjoy listening to them. Oh, it means the world to me. Thanks, Carolyn. My friend, her podcast is filled with extraordinary stories from everyday people. Each episode features inspiring stories of life and creativity, triumph and struggle. I look forward to each episode. I'll have a link to her show in my show notes. All right, so now to the topic of this episode. So way back in episode number 13, I shared my tips about dreaming toward your future. I walked you through how to discover your future. I mentioned in that episode that when you discover a future result that you love, remember you dreamt about it in detail already and still love it, you should then ask that future version of yourself how you got there. See, it's that easy. Okay, I know. Maybe not. I get it. Something to keep in mind is that either way, whether you pursue a future result or not, you are making a choice that has consequences. If you look at a future result that you love but are scared of the path to get you there, you can absolutely choose to run away or to dive in. If you run, you risk not being the person you are meant to be. Take a really good look at the results that future you has. If you look at the results and think, I can do that no problem, then I challenge you to make the results even bigger. This is not a time for comfort. It should be a little uncomfortable. Whether you're talking about giving up wine, decluttering your home, learning a new skill, or a future business endeavor, make it bigger and at least a little uncomfortable. When you have that done, then I have some tips for you to help you to get to where you want to be. Once you are clear on the big result that you want, write it down in a way that has the result only and not a clear path on how to get there. For those of us who identify with the green popsicle stick, this would be where we write the result we want on the popsicle stick. Your passion, be it small or big. You can be passionate about cleaning out your basement, trust me. Now, pick a time in the future where you will already have accomplished it. If your result is to redo your bedroom, your timeline will be different from someone whose result is to build a business. Remember, that future version of you is out there. She's waiting for you to get to where she is. She doesn't want you to let her down. I want you to spend time getting to know her, just like you did when you were dreaming in episode number 13. She can do this because she's already done it. She knows how you got there. She has the same brain you do, so guess what? You have all the power and information you need to make a plan to get to where she is. Really, trust me. Get to know this version of you so well that you can't imagine not becoming her in the future. And then it becomes about not letting her down, not letting you down. You'll gain clarity on how to get there the more you spend time with her. Your green popsicle stick will get brighter. Keep in mind that if you ask others for their advice and their input, that the more you rely on them rather than your future self, your color will dull. Now, don't be afraid to ask others for sure, but also just because they string words together doesn't make the words they say correct. Their words mean whatever you choose to make them mean in your life. For example, if they say, but you may fail, you could have thoughts like, yeah, I might fail. Yes, this is a possibility. Well, why should I even try? Or you can treat it like they just said you're going to wake up as a turtle tomorrow. What? You're nuts. That's not going to happen. Do you feel the difference? They may want you to face quote unquote reality. Well, of course they will, because that's how most humans operate. It doesn't mean that you need to operate the same way. Do you see how just because they say something, it is your thoughts about what they are saying that is most important in your life? You need to know that future version of yourself so well that you know she's out there and attainable 100%. Okay, so back to your results. Your results are your goal. Your path to the results should be flexible. Whether your plans for this week are successful or not, shouldn't stop you from heading toward your results. When your results are motivating you, then a failed day, week, or month simply become a learning opportunity on your journey to your results, rather than signs that your results aren't worth pursuing. I hope that makes sense. If you get it, it will change your life. Now you make plans. When you ask yourself how you got to where future you is, you write all of it down, all of it. Even if the ideas seem impossible, you've heard me say this before, this isn't the time for editing. Remember that this version of you, that future you that you've gotten to know so well, already knows how you got there. So let her tell you all the ways that she was able to make it happen. The next step is to pick one of those things and to take action. Just pick one, put a date on it that you'll be finished, and get to work. You might dive right in and not need any more direction from me, but you also may have a pile full of excuses that stop you from even writing down your plans. I've got you, my friend. My next episode will be all about those excuses. I know you are worth doing this work, my future empty nest friend. Future you is waiting for you and she's cheering you on. If you want to dive deeper, check out my coaching program options. I just released dates for my next round of coaching. Feel like you're missing something? Head back to my empty nest prep episodes. They start in episode number 3 to learn more about your thoughts and feelings. And wondering where I started with the future talk? Then check out episode number 13, where I talk about discovering future you. The questions I have for you in this episode are, have you found the result you want in your life? And number 2, are you ready to take action? Fly on over to our Facebook group. Our name is Green Popsicle Sticks. Want to know why? Then listen to episode number 17. Or head to my website, youremptynestcoach.com/community for links to join our flock. Why should you join our flock? Well, the adjustment to not having your kiddos at home full time isn't always easy, but it sure can be a ton more fun with a flock of friends. We look forward to seeing you there. As always, I provide content to make you think, my empty nest friend. My hope is that I am able to provide you with thoughts that positively impact your life. You also will find show notes for this and every episode on my website. My next episode's title is Let's Talk About Your Excuses. If you are a first-time listener, or even if you've listened before and you've enjoyed this podcast, I have a favor to ask. If you could take the time to subscribe to this podcast, that would be fantastic. It is free after all. Also, if you have an extra moment to give this podcast a 5-star rating, it will help other future empty nest mothers to find it when they need it. Thanks for your time and energy with that, and thanks so much for listening, my empty nest friend. Remember, you are amazing. Gosh, I really can't go off script. Going back one more time.